A57 Snake Pass. Looking well ahead. We're just coming towards the 50 miles an hour speed restriction area. We're in the 30s at the moment. We're just starting to build the speed up. We're uphill. Bearing in mind any vehicles coming down towards us. Any large vehicles are going to be slightly on our side of the road. The road is fairly narrow. We're warned of bends and potentially cattle on the road as we rise up the A57. Left-hand bend, hazard warning line in operation. We're moving out towards that white line to extend our view. We're warned of a road going round to the right, reduce speed, slow on the road. You can see how tight it is. Imagine an LGV, large truck coming towards us now. Definitely going to be slightly on our side of the road. You can see how tucked in I am to the near side, just keeping a nice safe distance, but bearing in mind hazards like we've just seen there, the pedal cyclists, we've got to be able to be in a position to be able to deal with things as they unfold. Turning arrows, road going around to the left, solid white line going to come into operation. Again, I'm slightly sacrificing position for safety. I'm anticipating large vehicles coming towards me if I can't already see them, depending on the view, depending on whether or not we've got a cross view. The long sweeping left-hand bend using constant acceleration, and the road starting to wind uphill on towards what looks like moorland. Good cross view there. You can see that large truck going to be coming down towards us. Sod's law dictates generally we meet those right on the apex of bends. So that's in my riding plan. Where am I going to meet that truck? I'm going to be in a position to put myself in the safest place I can on the carriageway, well away from it. Don't want to be elbow to wing mirror. There's the break in the white line showing us that the road up ahead is starting to open up, and there's the truck just gone past us, isn't it? But we'd already put that in our riding plan fairly early on, and that's all about having the ability to look across the tops of hedgerows and then seeing vehicles coming towards us. Now we're going to deal with them. Road starting to open up slightly now, long sweeping bends. There's the break in the white line. That's the engineers telling us that the view is better, it's opened up, and potentially we could overtake at that point if the road is clear and it's safe. Fantastic cross views there. You see all the vehicles coming downhill towards us in the distance, and we're looking for large vehicles in particular, aren't we, where we're going to meet them on the carriageway. Right hand bend, we're tucking ourselves in towards the near side, and we're sticking bang on 50 miles an hour as we climb up the A57. Using this opportunity now to ensure that we can see vehicles in the distance, grids and things like that. Can we put the riding plan in place, how we're going to deal with certain things? Could there be sheep around this next bend? On moorlands you generally find sheep grazing, sometimes absolutely in the carriageway, standing in the carriageway. We've got to be able to stop in the distance so we can see to be clear. Parked vehicle near side, road going around to the left, no view whatsoever. So potentially, is there something stopped? Is there a pedal cycle right on the apex? Are there animals in the carriageway? Are there large vehicles coming towards us? These are all the things that are going through my mind as I ride this road. We're warned of potential rocks falling from the near side. Looking well ahead now, we're starting to get closer to slower moving vehicles up ahead. We're warned of a slippery road surface, but on a nice bright summer's day like today, that shouldn't be an issue to us, but it's in my mind, it's in my riding plan. There's the break in the white line, that's telling us the road's starting to open up. And we're starting to get into this following position now behind these slightly slower vehicles up ahead. No point getting too close. I want to be able to use the views to my advantage. We're warned of roadworks now, so where are these roadworks? Are they in the carriageway? Are they on the hillside? Ramp ahead, slow. So we're just starting to ease back now, anticipating the ramp. There it is there, and a horrible road surface, particularly for a motorcyclist. A tendency has to pull the wheels, that kind of a road surface where it's been torn up in readiness for a new tarmac lay. So just letting them vehicles get away from us. Let's deal with the road surface ourselves. Warned of the road going round towards the right. Good cross views again. Chevron boards reinforcing the right hand bend. We're tucked in towards the near side, but my main concern at the moment now is the road surface. Is there any debris there? Is there any loose stones? Dreadful for a motorcycle. It's quite bad there. You can see the camera shaking as well, so it's quite undulating. Always be in a position to be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear if something changes up ahead. All the vehicles there, potentially they're the roadwork people or people just out for a ramble on the moors. We start to go downhill now. Road surface is slightly better now, but just look at the edge of that tarmac. You don't want to be getting too close to that. A gust of wind or something like that could just push you towards the near side. Next thing you know, you're off the side of the carriageway. So always sacrifice that position for safety. 50 miles an hour downhill in towards a series of bends, so I'm losing the road speed and selecting nice and early a low gear to help me downhill. There's all the road lane vehicles up ahead. Watch for people working around those vehicles. Feather the brakes if you need to on the downslopes and ease off on the bends. Round towards the left, chevron boards telling us where the road's going towards. And you can see now I've dropped off the back of these vehicles a little bit because they're all dabbing their brakes downhill. Pedal cyclists coming towards us. And we're warned of the road going round to the right and potentially a slippery road surface. Good cross view now, you can see all the way around that right hand bend. Just going to meet this vehicle as we approach, or the vehicles as we approach, right on the apex of the right hand bend. Some quite bad road surface issues there. You can just see me having to recheck the actual position I was going to take, or the line I was going to take around that right hand bend. Parked vehicles on the near side in the distance there. Into the right hand bend, double white line still in operation. We're in a nice following position now behind this vehicle, nice 2 seconds. And we're only going to move up in anticipation of potentially overtaking it, depending on the speed of the vehicle that we're following. We're still in the 50 miles an hour speed restriction area, so clearly if this bluish Ford ahead of us is doing 50, then there's no point being all over the back of it. Let's just drop off. If it kind of slows, or particularly if it's going to go uphill and it starts to slow right off, the power to weight ratio of a motorcycle would always be in a position where we could overtake without exceeding the 50 miles an hour speed restriction. It's downhill, always a tendency for the motorcycle and other vehicles to kind of start to run away with you. So the idea would be use your acceleration sense, that's the ability to vary the speed of the machine by accurate use of that throttle to meet the changing conditions ahead or behind, and potentially use a lower gear. You can see he's got his foot on his brake all the way down this slope, and all we've done now is ease off on the throttle in that low gear, and the gear is helping us downhill. As we come into this tight right hand bend, vehicles parked on the near side, we're just easing off on the downslope, back on constant as we go around the right hand bend. And by going back on the constant acceleration, it keeps the bike nice and stable. The bike's at its most stable travelling upright in a straight line under constant acceleration. So in the corners and bends, we're trying to replicate that by just having the engine just pulling. That makes the bike lift up off its suspension and it becomes very, very stable mid-bend. Left-hand bend, and we're warned of undulations in the carriageway. Solid white line on our side, and we're going from light to bright sunlight, aren't we, or dark to bright sunlight. Always quite difficult. You've got to give your eyes time to adjust to the different light variations. And you can see those undulations now kind of replicated through the camera really. We're going downhill, everybody's braking now, slow on the road, bends. We've got some markings on the road, some ripple lines telling us the roads, or there's some hazards coming our way.